and welcome to Gunpla Reviews, where it is myself versus my shelf. About 230 model kits and the kill reviews to do. Today is probably the first of maybe a few DLC kits. This one's weird. Today we have the high-grade Gundam Flauros Calamity War version. Yes, I completely just dropped the manual on the floor. We're not picking it up. We don't need to cover the manual. I will try to remember to put up here in the cards a link to the previous review. You can also find it on the end slate, I assure you. This is what you get when you buy a P-Bandai kit that is just colors and a few extra parts. Now, what's not very clear is that it makes it look like there are different parts, but what you get is a different sticker sheet, and the stickers are slightly different, wherein the head assembly, the parts are exactly the same, but the stickers here are different. The shoulder parts are exactly the same, but the stickers are what's different. Here at the backpack is when things start to get changed up, because as you get to the general assembly, you want to include the entire part, not just build to this part and then, because on the back is where you get different guns. You no longer have the giant go to hell, fuck off Dane slaves, but you get no less stickers. And of course you go with the final steps of building the guns. But the backpack does not include a place in which to store said guns. We also get a couple of, like, climbing axes, climbing hooks, and some extra hands. So let's take a look at those things in person. We have here the Gundam Flauros in white, classic colors, the shoulder pieces. I suppose I should really grab them. Our previous model. Get him off the shelf. Let's try to compare. We have unremarkably different shoulder pieces. If we look and compare, it's different, it says. I don't grasp what's different. I don't get what's different about the shoulders. I don't see it. Now at the head, of course, the sides of the head, you have the ryuusei-go customized paint. And over here, you get nothing. Around the back, you start to see the big differences. Guns! These railguns are completely different. You don't have the armor plates on here in which to store the machine guns. You don't have the rest of the backpack here. You have just a couple of 3mm pegs. And that's that. Put ryuusei-go back on the shelf, back on the stand. Looking good. Over here we have our extra stuff. Because they're included on the runners, you still get the two machine guns, which have the retractable handle. Just nowhere to put them. You get a pair of hands. You get the open, expressive hands. But what you don't get is an extra set of backs to go with them. So it's one set or the other. Now granted, these are the exact same color as the runner for the ryuusei-go, so you can switch and have an emotive hand on there. It's exactly the same. I'm realizing that you are a bit back heavy or just haven't been on your feet in a couple of years. And lastly, you get these climbing hook axes. They're called axes, and I can see the chopping part, but it's... I recognize these from movies like Cliffhanger, but this is where you will use your little hook back here to stash these away. Which way does the manual want them to go? Back and outward. Like so. Of course, you gotta move them out of the way so you still... nothing has changed that obstructs articulation, so once again, check out previous review because it's really kind of just a DLC bit. The completion coverage of all of my model kits. But let's go ahead, and for the sake of it, how does he look in shelling mode? The expressive hands will get in the way, so we're going to have to get rid of that. Rotate, please. Rotate the board now. Rotate the board now. Then, of course, I've knocked out the V-fin as usual. But with the struggle of posing, of course, you know, me. Unnecessary struggling is what I end up having to do all the time. That reminds me that ryuusei's feet are still backwards. We have the shelling mode, which is still completely viable. You just have a much smaller set of cannons there. Not a whole lot going on. So here's the thing. I can not recommend purchasing this unless you're just one of those fans of the design and you want it, which was my case. Otherwise I wouldn't own it. I was such a fan of the design of the Flauros itself. I heard like, oh, there's a Calamity War version with the white colors. Like, yo, that's dope. I'm in. Now, wait, down the manual real quick. As is advertised at the back of every manual, it's like, hey, customize your high grade. Maybe pick up some of these. That's it. Like, if you can buy an accessory set, and maybe I heard one of them back in the day came with an extra set of hands, which is, I think one of them does, yeah. And then another set comes with these axes. That's all there is to it. Like, you get the white color scheme, which admittedly that's, you know, easier than painting if you're not good at it. I raise my hand with authority. You get different shaped guns. I mean, at least there is a validation of difference. But aside stickers, you're getting a couple extra hands and these axes. Right there. Some hands and some axes, and you saved yourself several hours of painting effort. Like, I think this would look just fine with the same back-mounted railguns. But those runners are not included in the box whatsoever. You can't swap them out. Those runners located here are not there. I think you only get half of this runner. Shouldn't it show? It does show. So according to this, you do get that runner, but you get this extra runner over here on the far left there, on center. I think the case is that you're missing some parts. Yeah, I think you're missing parts, and you would be missing the stickers to form the railgun. I think there's a couple of joints missing. That's most likely what it is. It was several years ago that I purchased and built it, and I'm pretty sure I tried, but there's a couple of key parts missing to build the railgun onto here. Huh? I mean, at this point, if you can find this P-Bandai, I would snatch it up. Just for the sake of you found something that was incredibly rare and obscure. But I can't, like I said, just you know, kind of, where's my finger at? Forget about it. I did a lot of rambling. Just, you can pass on this. Drop it. Forget about it. Pass on it. Bronze tier, poop tier, whatever. The model's not bad, but it's not worth the P-Bandai trouble. Does that make sense? I hope so. I thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for more giant robot antics, collection, anime, video games, and so forth. Good night, Space.